Greetings, fellow humans. I'm MartianBuu, and today's video is on Brock's Onix. So Brock and Onix, I think, is a really cool combination. Onix is a basic that has 110 HP, which is a lot right now for a Pokemon that doesn't give up 2 points. And while 3 energy for 70 is a lot, Onix has a dedicated supporter Brock that allows you to accelerate an extra fighting energy out in a turn. So as long as you have a Brock to play, it's kind of like he's dealing 2 for 70, which is a really good deal on an 110 HP basic. I've been wanting to play a deck with this for a while, but it's kind of hard to decide on what the best partner for Onix is. He requires 3 fighting energy, so you're basically limited to either fighting Pokemon, all of which also have expensive attacks that don't get to benefit from Brock, or colorless Pokemon that don't care which type of energy they need in order to attack. And there actually is a really good one, Pidgeot. Pidgeot has 130 HP. It is a stage 2, which is unfortunate, but also has 2 for 70, and a very useful ability, Drive Off, which forces your opponent to switch out their active Pokemon, which is an effect you normally expect to see in a supporter. So with the power of Pidgeot, you can use a Sabrina-esque effect and a different supporter such as Brock all in the same turn. I thought this deck would be pretty decent, but it actually ended up performing way above my expectations. For an off-meta strat, I think it's actually pretty good. I hope you enjoy the games, and thank you so much for watching. I should try Dragonite. I've tried Dragonite so much. Please go to my YouTube channel. All right, go to my YouTube channel and watch all of my Dragonite videos, okay? Because I've already put up 2, and I intend to put up more because it's probably my favorite deck right now. But I want to get the variety going, you know. All right, my opponent is running a Mewtwo deck. I think you're all shocked. I'm shocked. And our Onix is already mostly powered up, which is pretty good. You just saw the Articuno one yesterday, and that seems pretty legit. Yeah, I really like the baby Articuno version of it. Oh. I forget if there are X speed in here. X speed is kind of yucky for... Oh, I can just do this. Neat. X speed is kind of yucky for Onix, right? But you know, you'd want it for Pidgey sometimes. All right, as long as they don't Sabrina me again. Well, even if they Sabrina me again, I get to knock out this Mewtwo, right? Because then I can just Giovanni knock out the Mewtwo. Poke viewership seems promising. I'm mostly pleased so far. Don't have Curlia. No! No! Wait, is this bad for me? Chat, have we hit a problem? One of my famous problems. Oh, we do have X speed. Look at me go. Okay, so I want to get out a second attacker, which is gonna have to be Pidgeot. Please, thank you. Good, thank goodness. All right. Them having that potion was actually pretty devastating. And the fact that they can attach the energy to the bench Mewtwo is not that bad, right? Because they still have to attack for a turn without thing. Glad to report back after 2 days. I got a full Blaine deck, Marowak EX deck, and Venusaur EX deck, having a blast with them. Nice, nice. You tried this deck, you wanted it to work. Always felt the turn be fine. Oh, interesting. I feel like it's pretty okay so far. I am absolutely bamboozled why they attached to that active Mewtwo. TBH. Because it doesn't super matter, because it's the same clock on getting to attack with... Mewtwo, right? So... Alright, not being able to find a Pidgey this turn was a little bad for me, I think. The bright side is I can Drive Off. Every time I Drive Off, if they don't have an X speed, like they can't send up the Ralts, right? So especially if they don't have a Gardevoir this turn, I just win on the spot. But not on the spot, but close. Don't have Gardevoir. And even if they do, they have to sacrificed an energy attachment for the Curlia. Neat. Aw, at least let me Giovanni you. Hey, okay, cool. Yeah, so far so good. We were versus Marshy? Marshy versus Marshy? Who's the marshiest? I was the marshiest, obviously. I won the video game. Get wrecked, Marshy. That's even your real name. Planning to experiment with Victory Bell and its basic pull ability? I don't know that I have enough Victory Bell. I imagine if I keep, you know, doing this, I imagine I'll get through everything at some point, you know? Like, I don't think they're going to... Hey... I don't know how good that hand actually was, to be honest, but... Oh, okay, this hand is maybe better. Maybe. Skill issue for the opponent? One time? Aw, skill issue for me. No! You hate to see it. Is this game good? This is the worst game ever, because my opponent just skill issued all over me and I hated it. But... apart from that, I think it's a good game. I'm enjoying it. Part of it is I think most of my issues with this game really are related to there not being enough cards out yet. I think once more cards get printed, this game is gonna rock. I think it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, it's good. It's a good game. I give it a Marshy Spaghetti. 3 noodles out of 7. With an additional 4 noodles, I don't know. My rating systems are stupid, but I like it better that way. Onix, let's go. I can't wait for Steelix, right? Like, Brock is gonna be cool to power up Onix to help you evolve into Steelix. I like Onix, but I love Steelix, you know? That's kind of where I'm at. My opponent, if my opponent Sabrina's me, I'm about to give up my last Pidgey, and that'll be terrible. This game is the worst game we've played in the last 40 minutes, true. What's the best way to fill out the collection? Buy packs. How do you mean? Oh, my opponent just got wrecked by Onix! I think Onix, when you find Brock, is actually really good. 110 HP on a basic, dealing 70 after 2 attachments. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Do not put the Potatomon into the stew. Yes, definitely don't do that. Whatever that means. Whatever anything means. Zapdos being weak to lightning and not rock is so weird to me. So yeah, the last time this got brought up, I had a very awkward discussion with chat about it. But anyways, yeah, the Zapdos one is strange because in the game, Zapdos is lightning and flying, so it can't be weak to lightning. Zapdos is never weak to lightning. Zapdos in the game is also never weak to fighting, but in the paper game, in the TCG, the types get consolidated into a broader type for the sake of how things work. Anyways, so as a rule, largely, the Pokemon have weaknesses that they would have in the game with the symbol that weakness is represented to in the card game. So by that I mean most Pokemon have a real weakness, but if that doesn't have its own type, they use the super type that got consolidated. So Zapdos should be weak to fighting because rock is represented by fighting, right? If they go by the general rule that they use, right? They're pretty consistent about this overall in the broad history of Pokemon. So it should be weak to fighting because Zapdos is weak to rock and it is not weak to lightning. Where that gets confusing is for people who aren't used to it yet, who aren't used to this game yet, and they see fighting and it's like, no, it's not weak to fighting, so like that's equally bad. But I knew I didn't explain this well last time, and I can feel myself not explaining it well this time too. It's brutal. But yeah, so anyways, they by and large, for the vast majority of Pokemon, you would... Man, I wish I had my Pidgeot out. I would knock out that Dratini and the game would just be over. The game feels over anyway, to be honest. But for the vast majority of Pokemon, you would see Zapdos have a fighting weakness, right? But for some reason, Zapdos, I think historically also, because I think the original Zapdos EX also had a lightning weakness. Let me check on that really quick. Zapdos EX. Which I think was from Ruby Sapphire, but I think I might be wrong. Yeah, it was from Ruby Sapphire. Not Ruby Sapphire, Fire Red Leaf Green. I knew it wasn't from Ruby Sapphire. The Ruby Sapphire EXs were hot trash. They were so bad. They were the first EXs, but they were awful. I think actually there was a promo EX first, the Kyogre and Groudon, which were also awful, but not as awful as the Ruby Sapphire EXs, which were all terrible except for maybe Mewtwo, who was just mostly terrible. But anyways, Zapdos EX, the original one, did have a lightning weakness too. And so for some reason, they just like, there are just a couple Pokemon where they break the rule, and Zapdos is one of them. Gyarados was the first one. Gyarados had a grass weakness, and because Gyarados is grass, Gyarados is water and flying, it can never be weak to grass. So in base set Gyarados being weak to grass was weird. Especially because it's 4 times weak to lightning, and all of the other water Pokemon were weak to lightning in base set. So like, why was it weak to grass? It's so strange. But by and large, a Pokemon in the card game will not have a weakness that it can't have in the digital game. That's how I should have put it. That was so simple. Is it kind of a safe bet to save up hourglasses for next set? I think you should do that once you have literally everything you want from this expansion. But not until then. I'm wondering if I should start even saving hourglasses, because like, they're gonna open up trades eventually, and yeah, I don't need to be dumping all of my hourglasses on packs, because I have most of what I want. I'm missing some, but I'm gonna get some packs as time goes on. Maybe I should start saving hourglasses just because I have most of what I want, and trade is gonna come eventually. I don't need to be purging all of my hourglasses constantly. How filled out is your collection? Not like super. There's still some stuff that a lot of stuff that I'm missing. And I think I'm 2 Pokemon away from unlocking the Mew. But I have most of what I want. Not like the vast majority maybe, but like a significant amount. Hey Onix, how you doing? Alright, well, if they have Marowak EX and they flip any heads, I think we're toasty roasty, but I didn't want to retreat into Onix here, right? Oh, thank goodness. I'm gonna start to save when you finish Pikachu. That's fair. You unlock Mew once you have all the Pokemon. I think it's any version of the first 150 Pokemon, you get Mew. I think. If it works that way, then I am just like 2 Pokemon away. I think I'm missing Jolteon and Vileplume, and then I'll have all of it, but this is already, like, we were playing around Giovanni 1 heads by using the potion here. I don't think we need to use the second potion. Goodbye, Marowak. get Marowaked. But if it's you have to have one of each Pokemon card, then I'm much farther off. I think it's decent value, dude. I've spent half a dozen games trying to make Persian feel fun. I did manage to discard a Gardevoir one time. It discards a card from your opponent's hand. So that's kind of cool. That Dome Fossil has 40 health. So even though my Pidgeot has to deal minus 20 damage, we can still get a knockout this turn. Right, on a coin flip. How do you have enough cards to play multiple decks? I'm still stuck Marowacking people for 2 straight days. I was Marowacking people for a week, so I've played the whole month it was out in New Zealand. Because I'm you know, I'm as New Zealandy as I've ever been, so that's how you know. Yeah, my first week playing the game, I was playing Marowak almost exclusively. And the first second deck I managed to build was a Gengar deck that was, you know, whatever. And then I had just those 2 decks for a little while after that. So it takes a minute, but then you just start, because as you're opening packs, right, you're opening partial pieces for a lot of things. So you end up feeling like you have nothing for a little while, and then suddenly you just start to have a bunch of options. That's kind of how it works with this. How's monetization for this game? It's all right. I think it's gonna get even better once Trade gets released, but we'll see how that goes. Like, there's an important element of the monetization for this game that isn't in the game yet. Like, trading is coming, and depending on how that's implemented, you know, it'll be very good. I think it's all right as it is. I think it actually is pretty free to play friendly currently. You just, like, you don't get everything right away. You have to kind of chill with garbage for a little bit. But then once you've chilled with garbage for just a little bit, it ends up being pretty good. I have the Giovanni, so I don't want to gust. I think this is all right. Maybe I should have. I could have gusted this turn and Brocked this turn, and hoped to draw the second Brock, which I did, and been able to Brock attach next turn. I don't know. Hopefully we just draw a Pidgeotto. No, I do have Pidgeotto. We're fine. Yeah. The one thing I don't like about using the mouse is I'm much less dexterous with it. So I end up doing, like, starting to close the game occasionally. What's Gust mean? This attack is called Gust. Normally when I'd say Gust, I guess it would mean pick Pokemon on your opponent's deck and switch it with the active Pokemon, but in this context, I meant attack with the move called Gust. I got your recommended Mewtwo deck day 1 with a single craft, so you can definitely free to play. Yeah, I think, you know, depending on your luck. So they never knock out my Pidgeot this turn. Oh, but I attached an Onix like a dumb bee. So, whoops. In that case, I am going to retreat. Here I go. If they evolve to Curlia, I'll Pidgeot and knock it out before it can become a Gardevoir. But as it is, I want to pressure the Mewtwo down so that they don't just manually attach it all the way up to be able to side drive, right? It'll be a little awkward if they have a potion. Yeah. Yeah, I think I side drive Giovanni here, and the reason is, or drive off Giovanni, and the reason is they can only side drive me once if they don't have a Gardevoir. And then I do this to prevent the Giovanni Psysphere. Because if this had 60 HP, they could Giovanni and Psysphere me so that they still had the side drive up to be able to knock out my next thing. You just want to play the funny green eggs deck. I can't wait until they come out with trading, because I think we're all going to like the game a lot better. I have managed to build Dragonite and Marowak EX completely hunting for 2 Gardevoirs. Unlucky. It's cool that like the Mewtwo pack is a good pack to go into because excuse me, there's so much other stuff for other decks. Like it might just be the best pack, right? You get a lot of really cool stuff out of the Mewtwo pack. So I don't know what my opponent's play here is going to be. It's got to basically just be retreat, send up the other Mewtwo. Maybe ideally they'd have 2 X speed. And then they could retreat while keeping the energy and continue to attach to the benched one. But then they'd still need to retreat the active one, so that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, they were in a tough spot. Right. Whatever pack has like, if you want a specific deck, whatever pack has that deck is obviously going to be the best one. But if you want to, like, get your value from multiple decks in a single pack, I think Mewtwo is the best one. Either that or it isn't. Potion being useful? I mean, like, all of the bad cards have their uses, right? Like, Potion, especially because the average card quality is kind of low in the game overall, Potion has its moments. But I just think it's like a card that's generally not useful, which is why I try not to include it. But it can definitely help you avoid breakpoints like in that last game. Sabrina's are a great pack point spin though. Yeah, I agree. You assume Potion is really good because breakpoints are so specific. It can be good because breakpoints are specific, but it can also be useless because most of the best Pokemon have so much damage that they do. So like, if your Pokemon if my Onix, for example, has 110 health, and I'm up against Pikachu EX, my opponent does 90 twice, the Potion never helps me there. So, and like, you know, Mewtwo and Charizard EX, those decks are looking to one-shot everything most of the time. So, by and large, I think Potion is not as useful as other cards could be, you know, as the other cards in your deck. So you're really only running it because you don't have access to a better card. But the fact that some things like the first attack on Mewtwo and whatever can be relevant occasionally makes it, I think, one of the best filler cards you can play, if that makes sense. So I think you're going to find that Potion, on average, is going to be much, much better in your deck than red card, which I think is the next best filler card. But once we get more cards, it's going to be the first thing to go. You're going to see Potion cut from a ton of decks once there are more cards, more trainer card options. Lapras EX Pocket. 140, 3 your tree cost, bleh. Bubble Drain, 3 for 80 and heal 20. Yeah, it's alright, but it's another Pokemon where you have to high roll Misty for it to be good. And that retreat cost is obscene, so I don't think it's going to be good. Too bad no amount of attacks can help with the Misty skill issue. It's true. It's true. You hate to see it. You hate to see the Marshy suffer at the cold hand of the skill issue. All water Pokemon being balanced around Misty was a mistake. I don't think water Pokemon are being balanced around Misty. I think the suboptimal water Pokemon are considerations because of the existence of Misty. Because like Machamp EX, for example, you know, if Brock could hit all fighting instead of just hit Onix and Brock, you know, Machamp EX would be a good card. But like, you know, if there was no Misty, we wouldn't even talk about Lapras EX. We'd be like, all right, that's garbage. That's the big stinky doo-doo. Poo-poo doo-doo, stinky poop times. Right? Renee wasn't paying attention to my gibberish. I was just baking some stew. It's the type of thing where if you'd been paying attention, you would have rolled your eyes at me. All right. Are we gonna be able to Pidgeot our opponent into sadness? Hi, Joshy Fluffy. Hi, Kazakhstan. How do you guys feel about Diglett? Alright, my opponent literally never flips heads here. I know my opponent has the skill issue. I can feel it. Actually, it doesn't matter, right? Because if they roll heads, we just Pidgeot them out of the way and carry on with our day. So yeah, you do whatever feels right, coin flip wise. I guess I'd prefer them get tails because I want to knock out the active, but haha. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. Get Pidgeotted. Do I heal this? I kind of want to not heal it because I don't think there's anything in that deck that can knock me out this coming turn. But I do kind of want to get red carded. So like if I have 4 cards, they might red card me. If I have 3, they're probably not going to red card me. But if they red card me, I could get like an Onix, or a Brock rather, to start powering up another attacker. I went to a pre-release once and a dude got rolled by Dugtrio and raged, so he has a special place in your heart. That's what's up. This is exactly what's up. Have you seen people running fossils to protect against Sabrina? I have, yeah. I think it's an interesting choice. Well, Golem just has the 1 attack, is that true? Yeah. I think I want to drive off. Hi, MartianBuu, playing Pocket TCG here as well. I just opened 30 packs. I got like 4 Gardevoirs and 4 Worlds, but no Curlias. Yeah, it's kind of funny that the game is built that way. Anyways, I think there's no reason to use or not to use potions, so... Does it have 130 HP? No, it has... Wait, what's the total on this? Is it 120? Or is it 130? Why won't it tell me? It's 130. Okay, so I'll use it. Why the Nido Pokemon are dark instead of poison is beyond you. Because if they had a type for every Pokemon in the game, then like if they had a type for every type in the Game Boy, they would have too many types. So they consolidated a bunch of types, and poison got consolidated into dark. What's my current favorite deck? I like Dragonite with Baby Articuno and Misty is probably my favorite deck right now. You're curious, Pikachu Zapdos or no Zapdos? You're on no Zapdos? I mean like no Zapdos EX? Or no Baby Zapdos? No Zapdos EX? Interesting. I generally think that the Zapdos EX is the best partner for... Pikachu EX, and I haven't really considered not running it. You just got Mewtwo EX? Neat. Congratulations. What's your thoughts on not running Zapdos EX? Does Fossil stop Pidgeot from working too? Wait, can the fossils not be Sabrina? Isn't the idea with the fossils to like send up the fossil and then discard it? Or does it literally stop it? You can front load 2 1-prizers and clean up with Pika. I see. Interesting. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. The Golem has a jillion... I should just hit the Golem, shouldn't I? Or hit the Graveler. I don't think driving off is the play here. Well, if you don't run Zapdos, then... I don't know. I feel like powering up the Zapdos is better than powering up most anything else early if it's not going to be Pikachu EX. I think it's your most solid backup plan for early game. Like, putting energy on Electrode means you've probably lost. And, like, Raichu I think is good, but I think it's good as a finisher. I don't think it's good as, like, getting early attacks in. So, I would say, having not tried it, and only just now starting to think about the possibility of cutting Zapdos, I think that there's probably almost no upside to doing that, but... The Snipe from Zebstrika is great. I think it's also good as a finisher. I mean, it kind of sets things up maybe too, but... Like, I like that as a finisher more than a, you know, an initial Pokemon. So, I don't know. I would have to try it to change my opinion, I guess. It sounds like it wouldn't be worth it to me.